The rules kept me alive. Until I broke one by mistake. They said it was just a night job. No danger. No thrills. Just sitting alone. I believed them. I shouldn't have. I was broke. Dead broke. Bills stacked on the kitchen table like little towers of doom. The car payment overdue. The fridge humming emptily. Every morning, that pit in my stomach reminded me of debt collectors. Of missed rent. Of everything I couldn't fix. Then I saw the ad. Tiny box in the classifieds, almost lost in the jumble of lost causes. Night security, immediate start, no experience needed. I laughed. It sounded ridiculous. It sounded like salvation. I called the number. A woman answered. Odd, calm, polished. Her voice had a strange clarity. She didn't ask for references. She didn't ask for interviews. She just asked if I could start tonight. I said yes. Desperation is persuasive. I arrived at the mall before midnight. Remote? Isolated. Streetlights weak, flickering along the long road. The building loomed above me. Steel and glass, a skeleton under the moonlight. Wind rattled broken signs outside. The doors opened as if expecting me. Inside, the air smelled faintly of disinfectant and dust. Fluorescent lights buzzed overhead. Everything seemed normal. Until I saw the rules. Laminated, taped to the security office wall. I laughed. A joke. A prank from the last guard. But they were precise. Too precise. The rules read, Rule number 1, never answer the phone when it rings at exactly 2:17 a.m. Rule number 2, do not enter the employee lounge after midnight. Rule number 3, if you hear your name whispered, stay perfectly still. Rule number 4, never look at the mannequins in the main hall after 1 a.m. Rule number 5, do not unlock any doors that are already closed. Rule number 6, never use the PA system for anything but emergencies. Rule number 7, do not follow shadows you see moving alone. Rule number 8, if a light flickers 3 times in succession, retreat to the nearest office. I stared. My first thought, joke. My second thought, insanity. But the rules were written like survival instructions. Like someone had lived, and died, by them. I placed the sheet on the desk. The first hour passed quietly. I walked the main hallways. Echoing footsteps followed me. Empty corridors swallowed the sound. I checked doors and windows. Everything locked. Everything still. I laughed again. I shouldn't have. Then it came, the first oddity. A whisper. Soft. Barely audible. Alex. I froze. Rule number 3. Stay perfectly still. I did. The whisper faded. My heart pounded in my ears. The mannequins stared. Rule number 4. I refused to look. The escalator groaned. The PA system crackled once, then silence. Rule number 6. I kept my hands off. Hours passed. Then the lights flickered. Once. Twice. 3 times. Rule number 8. I bolted to the nearest office. The door slammed behind me. The mall wasn't empty anymore. The wall seemed alive. The corridors twisted. Shadows pooled unnaturally. I felt eyes, unblinking, unhuman, following me. My pulse quickened. I had survived the first hour. But I could feel it. Breaking one rule would be fatal. And I had no idea which one would get me first. The office felt smaller than before. The air was colder, sharper, almost metallic. I pressed my back against the wall, staring at the security monitors. Nothing. Empty hallways. But I could feel it. The shadow. It wasn't far. It was patient. Waiting. The first sound came, a soft dragging behind me. Slow. Intentional. I froze. Rule number 7. Do not follow shadows you see moving alone. I hadn't followed it. It followed me. Every step. Every breath. My pulse hammered in my ears. I wanted to scream. But no sound came. Then the whisper. Alex. Rule number 3. Stay perfectly still. I pressed myself against the desk, eyes wide. The whisper grew louder. Closer. All around me. Inside the walls. Under the floor. Through the ducts. I tried to convince myself it was my imagination. It wasn't. A mannequin in the main hall shifted. Rule number 4. I did not look. But I could feel its gaze. Glass eyes tracking me. The escalator groaned again. The PA system crackled once. Rule number 6. I didn't touch it. Then the lights flickered. 1, 2, 3 times. Rule number 8. I ran. Down the nearest corridor. The walls stretched impossibly. Doors were where doors shouldn't be. The mall had changed. The shadows pooled and swirled at the edges of my vision. I passed the food court. Empty, yet full of presence. I could hear whispers, laughter, and soft cries. I remembered the previous guard. He was here once. And now? Gone. The dragging sound came again. Closer. I turned a corner. The employee lounge. Rule number 2. I couldn't resist. The door creaked. I didn't open it. The mirror inside shimmered. I stepped closer. And I saw it. My reflection. Smiling. I did not. I stumbled back. The shadow surged forward. Impossible darkness curling around the floor, creeping toward me. I bolted to the nearest office. The door slammed shut behind me. I was trapped. Alone. The whisper stopped. The shadow lingered at the hallway's edge, waiting. Time didn't exist anymore. Minutes, hours. I had no idea. I checked the monitors. Hallways stretched endlessly. Mannequins shifted imperceptibly. I had to stay awake. I had to obey the rules. Rule number 1. I ignored the ringing phone. I had already broken it once. I wouldn't again. Rule number 2. I avoided the lounge. Rule number 3. I stayed still when called. Rule number 4. I didn't look at the mannequins. Rule number 5. I didn't unlock any doors. Rule number 6. I ignored the PA system. Rule number 7. I never followed shadows. Rule number 8. I retreated whenever lights flickered 3 times. I survived. But barely. Every nerve in my body screamed that breaking another rule would end me. And I knew. It was only a matter of time. The mall waited. Patient. Hungry. For the next mistake. I didn't know how long I had been running. Time had no meaning here. The mall twisted around me. Corridors I had just walked stretched longer than before. Doors appeared where they hadn't existed. And the shadows. They weren't hiding anymore. They were reaching. Slowly. Patiently. The whispers began again. Alex. Alex. Closer. Everywhere. I froze. Rule number 3. Stay perfectly still. I pressed my back against a wall. The air grew colder, biting my skin. I could hear my heartbeat. It was loud, frantic, echoing. I tried to control it. The shadow pulled at the edge of the hallway. It pulsed like liquid darkness. Then I saw movement in the corner of my eye. A mannequin. Its head had turned. Rule number 4. I didn't look directly. But I felt its gaze. Piercing. Unforgiving. The escalator groaned behind me. A sound like steel stretching under pressure. Rule number 6. The PA system crackled. Static. Then a voice. Deep. Guttural. Impossible. Why are you here? I couldn't respond. I couldn't move. The shadow crept closer. Every instinct screamed to obey. Every instinct screamed to run. I ran. The hallways twisted impossibly around me. The floor beneath me seemed to warp. I tripped, stumbled, and fell. Cold tiles scraped my hands. The dragging sound was closer. I crawled toward the nearest office. Rule number 8. Lights flickered. 1, 2, 3. I made it inside. Slamming the door. Breathing. Trembling. I sank to the floor. And realized. I had broken rule number 1. The phone had rung. 2:17 a.m. I had answered it, hoping for a human voice. Instead. Silence. Then breathing. Slow. Heavy. Older than time. Every hair on my body stood on end. The shadow surged. Filling the office. It wasn't just outside anymore. It was inside. Pressing against me. Testing me. I held my breath. I stayed still. But the whisper started again. Alex. It wasn't kind. It wasn't friendly. It was hungry. I felt my chest tighten. The wall seemed to shrink. The shadow touched me. Cold. Heavy. Real? I couldn't move. Couldn't scream. I had survived this far by obeying the rules. I had broken one. And now. I was paying the price. My mind screamed. Hallways twisted, escalators roared, mannequins moved. The air reeked of mildew and decay. I was trapped. And alone. The mall was alive. Hungry. And it remembered. I had to survive. I had to obey. But the consequences of breaking rule number 1 had already begun. And I knew. This night was far from over. The office felt smaller than before. The shadow pressed against the walls, seeping through the cracks. I could hear it breathing. Slow. Deliberate. Heavy. Every instinct told me to run. Every rule told me to stay. I pressed myself against the corner of the desk. My hands shook. The monitors flickered. Hallways stretched impossibly long. Doors appeared and disappeared. The escalators groaned like tortured metal. Then I heard it. A whisper behind me. Closer. The dragging sound returned. Rule number 7. Do not follow shadows you see moving alone. I hadn't. It followed me. Every step. Every breath. The lights flickered once. Twice. 3 times. Rule number 8. I bolted toward the nearest office. The door slammed behind me. The shadow surged. Filling the room. I pressed my back against the wall. It wasn't just darkness. It was alive. It moved like liquid. Flowing, stretching, reaching. The whispers came again. Alex. I stayed still. Rule number 3. But I could feel it probing my mind. Testing me. I had broken rule number 1. The consequences were unfolding. The air grew heavier. My thoughts slowed. I felt my own reflection in the security monitor's twist. Eyes too wide. Mouth too long. Smiling, I screamed in my head. But no sound came. Rule number 4. I didn't look at the mannequins. But I could feel them. Watching. Judging. Following. The hallway outside twisted again. I could see shadows moving impossibly. Sliding along the floor. Across walls. Through ceilings. I was trapped. The dragging sound returned. Closer than ever. I wanted to run. But I knew every rule I broke would make it worse. Rule number 2. The lounge beckoned. I resisted. Rule number 6. The PA system crackled. Static. Then a voice. Low. Guttural. Impossible. Why are you here? I pressed myself tighter against the wall. My pulse deafening. Time didn't exist. Hours or minutes, I couldn't tell. The shadow pressed closer. The darkness enveloped the room. It touched me. Cold. Heavy. Real? I couldn't move. Couldn't scream. I had survived by obeying the rules. I had broken one. And now, I was paying the price. The wall monitors flickered again. The hallways appeared empty. But I knew better. The mall wasn't empty. It never had been. It waited. Hungry. For the next mistake. And I was already marked. I couldn't leave. I couldn't hide. I could only wait. And pray that I survived the night. The air grew colder. Every breath felt like inhaling shards of ice. My hands trembled. My knees shook. I pressed myself against the wall of the security office. The monitors flickered. Empty hallways stared back. But I knew better. The mall was alive. Hungry. It had been waiting for me. For my mistake. Rule number 1. I had answered the phone. 2:17 a.m. I hadn't known what I would hear. Now I did. The shadow had followed me inside. It pulsed at the edges of the room, thick and heavy. Slowly, it spread across the floor. Creeping toward me. The whisper came again. Alex. Closer. Louder. Inside my head. I pressed my hands to my ears. It didn't stop. I could feel it probing my mind. Testing me. I couldn't move. I couldn't speak. I could only watch. And wait. Then I saw them. The mannequins. Rule number 4. They had left the main hall. Forming a circle around me. Their eyes. Human. Wide. Unblinking. Judging. They didn't move like mannequins. They moved like predators. The dragging sound returned. Closer. It wasn't behind me. It was inside me. I could feel its presence in my chest. In my bones. It tested me. I tried to obey the other rules. Rule number 2. I avoided the lounge. Rule number 3. I stayed still when called. Rule number 5. I didn't unlock any doors. Rule number 6. I didn't touch the PA system. Rule number 7. I did not follow shadows. Rule number 8. I retreated when the lights flickered. I had survived this far. But the consequences of breaking rule number 1 were unfolding. And the shadow wanted more. It began to whisper. Not my name this time. Other words. Promises. Threats. It knew my fears. It knew my debts. My failures. Every insecurity I had ever felt. It whispered them aloud. In the empty office. The walls shook. I couldn't tell if the sounds were real or in my mind. I stumbled backward. The mannequin's eyes followed me. The shadow surged. Cold. Heavy. Real? It touched me. I fell to the floor. I wanted to scream. I couldn't. My voice was gone. The night stretched endlessly. I realized then that survival wasn't just obeying the rules. It was understanding them. Feeling them. Breathing them. Because breaking even one could consume you. I had already seen it. I had already felt it. Rule number 1. The shadow waited. Hungry. And I was alone. The lights in the office went out. All of them. The only thing left was the faint red glow of the exit sign bleeding through the glass door. I stood frozen, my heart slamming against my ribs. Somewhere behind me, the shadow exhaled. I didn't hear it, I felt it. Like something dragging its breath across the back of my neck. Rule number 8. Retreat when the lights flicker 3 times. But they hadn't flickered this time. They died all at once. So what now? Do I wait? Do I run? The whisper came again. Not a name this time. Just words, low, deliberate, heavy. You broke it. My stomach turned. The monitors flickered on for a moment, just static, and in the mess of gray snow, I saw movement in every camera. Hallway mannequins shifting positions. Storage room doors creaking open. Escalators moving by themselves. The mall had woken up. I pressed my back against the wall. My flashlight beam cut through the dark like a blade. Then it landed on something that made my heart seize. A mannequin was standing outside the office door. It hadn't been there before. I stepped back slowly. Another one appeared behind it. And another. Rule number 4. Never look at the mannequins after 1 a.m. It was 3:08 a.m. now. I should have kept my eyes shut. But I didn't. They were close enough that I could see the faintest twitch in their fingers. Plastic shouldn't move like that. One hand slowly lifted and pointed toward the floor. At first I thought it was random. Then I saw it, scratched into the tile just beneath the glass door. Stay still. Rule number 3. If you hear your name whispered, stay still. But what if I saw it written? Was that the same? I didn't know. I didn't care. My brain screamed to run, but my body refused. I froze. Seconds stretched. Minutes. Then, a shadow slithered from behind the mannequins. It wasn't shaped like a person this time. It was too thin. Too tall. And it pulsed. I felt pressure behind my eyes. Then, my phone buzzed. 2:17 a.m., incoming call. Unknown number. That couldn't be right. It wasn't 2:17 anymore. The clocks were lying. I backed into the desk, shaking so badly the flashlight slipped from my hands and rolled across the floor. The call kept ringing. Answer it. The whisper was inside my head now. Finish what you started. I clamped my hands over my ears. The ringing grew louder. The mannequins began tapping on the glass door, softly, rhythmically, like a heartbeat. Then the phone stopped. The silence afterward was worse. For a long time, nothing happened. Then the PA system clicked on. Static first. Then that same woman's voice, the one who hired me. Her tone was flat. Mechanical. Security Officer Alex, please report to the main hall. The intercom clicked off. I stared at it. Rule number 6, never use the PA system except for emergencies. But what about when they use it? I didn't want to find out. I should have stayed in that room. But the shadow pressed closer. The air thinned. The mannequins' faces started to melt, plastic softening, reshaping. Their eyes looked like mine now. I couldn't breathe. So I ran. Out of the office. Down the empty corridor of the mall. Every footstep echoed like thunder. I sprinted past shuttered stores, past flickering lights, past reflections that didn't move the same way I did. Somewhere behind me, I heard the mannequins start to follow. Heavy. Slow. Unstoppable. And the whisper followed too, you broke the first. You'll break them all. I burst into the main hall. The ceiling stretched impossibly high. The shadows pooled like living smoke along the edges of the polished floor. The mannequins stood in a circle. Waiting. Watching. I could feel the weight of the rules pressing on me. Rule number 1. Broken. Rule number 2. Still obeyed. Rule number 3. Tested. Rule number 4. Terrifyingly real. I didn't know if I had any strength left. The shadow surged forward, filling the hall. It wasn't darkness anymore. It was form. Thin, impossibly tall, moving like liquid. I could see fingers stretching from it. Whispers echoed inside my skull. Every fear. Every debt. Every failure I had ever felt. The mannequins stepped closer, silent but heavy. Their eyes reflected mine. I realized then what the rules meant. They weren't just instructions. They were shields. Barriers. Survival mechanisms. Breaking one didn't just attract attention, it allowed it to touch you. Rule number 1. The phone call. I had invited this into my world. The shadow surged again. I bolted. Through corridors that twisted impossibly. Through doors that shouldn't exist. The whisper followed. You cannot leave. I reached the food court. It had changed. Tables stacked unnaturally, chairs pressed into walls, all pointing toward the center. There, standing under the flickering fluorescent lights, was her. The woman from the call. Her eyes were black. Mouth stretched in a grin that wasn't human. "Alex," she said. Flat. Mechanical. "You've learned the rules. Now live by them. Or join them." The shadow coiled around me. The mannequins closed in. The whispers multiplied. Every step, every heartbeat, every breath became unbearable. I remembered the rules. Rule number 2. Avoid the lounge. Rule number 3. Stay still when called. Rule number 4. Never look at the mannequins after 1 a.m. Rule number 5. Do not unlock any doors. Rule number 6. Never use the PA system except emergencies. Rule number 7. Do not follow shadows. Rule number 8. Retreat when lights flicker 3 times. I obeyed. I froze. I pressed myself against the far wall. The shadow paused. The mannequins stopped moving. The air cleared, just slightly. Silence. I didn't dare move. Minutes, maybe hours, passed. Then the first hint of dawn bled through the skylights. The shadows retreated. The mannequins froze in place. The whisper stopped. I survived. Barely. I don't know how. The rules had saved me. Barely. I never answered another phone call at 2:17 a.m. I never entered the lounge. I never looked at the mannequins after 1 a.m. I never unlocked doors I wasn't meant to. I never touched the PA system. I never followed shadows. I never ignored flickering lights. The mall waits. It's patient. It remembers. And it will test the next one. I survived that night. But I am not the same. The rules are etched into my mind. Every shadow I see whispers them. Every reflection shows them. And every night, I hear my name. I survived that night. But I am not the same. The rules are etched into my mind. Every shadow I see whispers them. Every reflection shows them. Every corridor, every doorway, every flickering light reminds me of that night. Even now, I feel it. The mall waits. Patient. Hungry. And it remembers? Sometimes I dream of it. The fluorescent lights flickering. The escalators groaning. The whisper of my name. And the shadow, stretching, pulsing, waiting. I see it in the corner of my room. On the streets at night. In mirrors at home. And every time, I hear the rules. Rule number 1. Rule number 2. Rule number 3. All 8. Etched into my mind like scars. I survived by obeying them. Barely. But I also learned something terrifying. The rules aren't just instructions, they are the mall. The mall is the rules. And it doesn't forgive mistakes. It doesn't forget. I thought leaving that night meant freedom. It didn't. Freedom was an illusion. I can never be alone again. The shadows follow me. The whispers never stop. And every night, I feel that cold, heavy presence press against my back. Waiting. Testing. Hungry. And I know. If I ever break another rule, even here, in the real world, it will find me. And this time, there will be no dawn. I survived that night. But the mall never lets go. It waits for the next mistake. And I am its witness. Its warning. Its reminder. So I obey. Every shadow. Every flicker. Every whisper. Because I know. It's still watching. And it always will.